Oh, Putin has painted himself into a corner. Nobody puts baby in a corner. Ukrainian forces just won back a key eastern city. Russians are taking to the streets over Putin's mobilization order. And Vlad's move to formally annex 4 Ukraine territories was condemned by virtually every nation on the planet. Even China's pissed about it. So will he turn to nuclear weapons? Retired U.S. Army General David Petraeus, also former CIA director, on Sunday laid out what might happen if Putin went nuking.
We would respond by leading a NATO, a collective effort that would take out every Russian conventional force that we can see and identify on the battlefield in Ukraine and also in Crimea and every ship in the Black Sea.
That sounds like fun. Not an ideal situation for Moscow or the world, really for us. So should we be stocking up our bomb shelters, or is the Russian president all bark and no bite? Here with me now, former CIA officer and Portman Square Group chairman and CEO, Mike Baker is back.
Thank you.
So, Baker, the saber rattling has been met with a pretty firm media response here from David Petraeus to H.R. McMaster. And McMaster said that if Putin uses a nuke, it would be a suicide weapon. What do you see here?
Yeah, I don't know that it's particularly good form or helpful, maybe, in the current environment for former generals or agency directors or anyone to be out there thumping and talking about how many Russian soldiers we're going to kill if he uses or deploys a tactical nuke on the battlefield. I think that is best left to the Biden administration having very serious, very straightforward, very aggressive conversation off the radar screen with Putin's advisors, if he still has any. Look, the problem we're facing is, as you pointed out, Putin's got himself into a corner. He's got an ever-shrinking circle of advisors or people that actually feel, I think, up to the task of telling him the truth on any given subject. He's got thousands of men fleeing Russia, trying to avoid conscription. He's turned to North Korea and Iran to build back his warehouse of artillery and drones. He's jailing protesters and journalists. Look, this is in no way is this going well for him. But the problem is, where's the off-ramp? Where is an exit from his perspective? You know, the world is calling him a war criminal, as they have for some time, as he deserves to be called a war criminal. And so the problem is, you know, how does he get himself out of this mess if, in fact, he's inclined to? Because there are very few options. And as you pointed out, they've been implying, including Dmitry Medvedev, who's typically has been a fairly reasoned voice in Russia over the years, not prone to drama. They're all implying that, you know, they would use nukes to defend the motherland.
No, that's a horrible idea. I mean, this whole thing, it's interesting because you really
I believe it is too.
You really have been Cassandra this whole time. You know, you have been laying out everything. What happened last week or the week before, you were talking about the referendum, and, you know, that was going to be his ace in the hole. So if there were any further incursions into a once Russian claimed territory, he was going to get them back by just calling them Russia and then attacking the U.S. or whoever else was supplying weapons in those regions. So now it seems like Ukraine, the military, has a little bit more of an upper hand. So now, what is the next step?
Well, that's the problem. Look, this annexation was bizarre. It was not just roundly condemned by everyone, including the UN. When the UN condemns something, you know that something's up, right? Because they typically, you know, don't get off their ass to do anything. But look, it wasn't just condemned; it was ridiculed, right? And again, you have to look at this from the perspective of where is Putin going? What is his ability? He's tried this limited mobilization. He's going to throw tens of thousands of poorly trained troops into the mix as cannon fodder. Even the Russian press is starting to crack. Even the Russian press is starting to point out the fact that this war, this military operation, as Putin tries to call it, isn't going well. So the more doors that get closed, the more concerning this is, because, you know, ever since this whole thing started,
Yes.
our problem has been trying to read his plans, his motives, his intentions, because, you know, it's tough. That's a heavy lift to figure out, get inside his head and understand where he's going.
But you're absolutely right. We are at a fulcrum point, and, you know, we will reach critical mass either where all of Russian society, including the press and former advisors, you know, they've finally had enough and they gain enough strength to stand up to him and topple him, or he reaches critical insanity mass and he tips over in the opposite direction and starts using whatever he has in his arsenal, and then we're all hosed. All right. Well, Baker, as long as we've got you on the front lines, I think we're good to go. We'll talk to you very soon.
Thank you very much. It's been a cheery conversation.
It really
I hope
has.
everybody's uplifted by it.
This has been a special military operation conversation. Thanks, Baker.